Have you ever noticed how modern humans spend hundreds of dollars on gyms, supplements, protein powders, and fitness routines, yet still complain about back pain, low energy, weak posture, and exhaustion all the time? Ancient humans didn't have fitness influencers, ergonomic chairs, or healthy lifestyles, and somehow they survived freezing winters, hunted massive animals, walked endless distances, and endured brutal environments almost every single day. So what happened to the human body? Did modern life quietly make humanity physically weaker without people even realizing it? And the deeper scientists, archaeologists, and anthropologists investigate ancient human strength, endurance, and survival, the more uncomfortable the answers start to become. For a long time, people assumed ancient humans were primitive, fragile, and less capable than modern society. But interestingly, discoveries in anthropology and archaeology started telling a completely different story. Researchers analyzing ancient skeletons found unusually high bone density, powerful joint structures, and signs of incredible physical endurance. In fact, a 2007 study published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences suggested that early humans may have possessed grip strength and mobility far beyond what most modern adults develop today. Kinda crazy, right? And it's not just about muscles. Survival experts often point out that ancient humans operated under constant physical pressure that modern people rarely experience anymore. They climbed, carried, sprinted, hunted, fought, and adapted to nature daily, not as exercise, but as survival. Even today, scientists studying hunter-gatherer tribes notice levels of stamina, mobility, and resilience that many office workers struggle to achieve even after years in the gym. So the real question slowly becomes impossible to ignore. If the human body was once capable of such extraordinary strength and endurance, what exactly changed? Ancient humans lived in a world that was unbelievably unforgiving. There were no supermarkets open 24 hours a day, no heated homes, no elevators, no painkillers, and definitely no food delivery apps showing up at the door in 15 minutes. Every single day demanded movement. Humans had to walk for miles to find water, track animals across dangerous terrain, climb rocky environments, carry heavy resources, and constantly stay alert for predators or rival groups. The human body wasn't sitting for 8 hours a day staring at screens. It was adapting to survival every waking moment. Anthropologists studying early human societies often describe survival as a full-body experience. In 2012, researchers from the University of Cambridge discussed how constant physical stress likely shaped skeletal development and muscular endurance in ancient populations. And honestly, when people stop and think about it, it makes sense. Imagine carrying wood, hunting food, building shelter, and protecting family members without modern tools or machines. Even simple daily activities became intense physical training. Ancient humans didn't work out for 1 hour and then rest all day. Their entire environment forced the body to become stronger, tougher, and more efficient, and that pressure may have transformed the human body in ways modern life no longer does. One of the biggest differences between ancient humans and modern humans is that survival itself acted like non-stop training. Today, someone might spend 40 minutes on a treadmill and feel accomplished. Meanwhile, ancient humans could walk enormous distances simply searching for food, water, or safety. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies have documented groups traveling over 10 miles in a single day while carrying tools, children, or hunted animals. No energy drinks. No recovery shakes. Just survival. Over thousands of years, this constant movement may have shaped levels of endurance and physical resilience that modern lifestyles barely activate anymore. And then there's the mental side of endurance, which people often forget. Ancient humans regularly faced hunger, freezing temperatures, exhaustion, injuries, and uncertainty without the comfort systems modern society depends on. A 2010 evolutionary biology discussion from Harvard researchers explored how exposure to environmental stress may have strengthened both physical adaptability and pain tolerance in early humans. In other words, their bodies weren't just stronger, they may have been far tougher under pressure too. And strangely enough, when modern people voluntarily expose themselves to controlled discomfort today, things like hiking, cold showers, fasting, or strength training, many begin noticing improvements in energy, discipline, and resilience. Almost like the human body still remembers the world it was originally designed to survive in. Ancient human diets looked nothing like the modern processed food world people live in today. There were no ultra-processed snacks, sugary sodas, artificial flavorings, or fast food meals loaded with preservatives. Early humans consumed natural foods they had to hunt, gather, or prepare themselves. Wild meat, roots, nuts, berries, fish, and seasonal plants. According to evolutionary nutrition researchers, these diets were often richer in nutrients and far lower in constant sugar exposure than many modern eating habits. And when the body receives cleaner fuel while constantly moving in nature, it tends to respond very differently. That combination alone may have played a huge role in ancient human strength, recovery, and endurance. But diet was only part of the equation. Ancient humans also lived in direct contact with the natural world every day. Sunlight regulated their sleep. Physical labor shaped their muscles. Outdoor exposure challenged their immune systems. Even danger itself may have affected how alert and adaptable their bodies became over time. In recent years, scientists studying modern hunter-gatherer tribes like the Hadza people in Tanzania noticed surprisingly low rates of obesity, heart disease, and chronic metabolic illness compared to industrialized societies. And honestly, that raises a pretty uncomfortable question. If modern technology supposedly improved human life so much, why are modern humans often more exhausted, stressed, inflamed, and physically fragile than people surviving in far harsher conditions? As civilization advanced, human life became safer, easier, and far more comfortable. Cars replaced walking. Machines replaced lifting. Screens replaced movement. And slowly, without most people noticing, daily survival stopped demanding intense physical effort from the human body. Anthropologists sometimes describe modern society as the least physically demanding environment humans have ever lived in. Ironically, many of the technologies designed to make life easier may have also reduced the very pressures that once built extraordinary strength, endurance, mobility, and resilience in ancient humans. And the effects appear everywhere. Chronic back pain, obesity, poor posture, fatigue, weak grip strength, sleep problems, and low physical endurance have become incredibly common in modern populations. In 2021, researchers discussing sedentary lifestyles warned that excessive inactivity is now linked to major long-term health risks across the world. Kinda unsettling when people realize it, right? The modern human body evolved for movement, challenge, and adaptation. Yet modern lifestyles often encourage the exact opposite. Which leads to an even deeper question hiding beneath all of this. If ancient humans were shaped by struggle, what happens to humanity when struggle almost disappears altogether? The truth is, this conversation was never just about muscles, hunting, or survival. Ancient human strength reveals something much deeper about human evolution itself. The human body was designed for movement, adaptation, resilience, endurance, and constant interaction with the natural world. But modern society slowly created environments where comfort became normal and physical challenge became optional. And maybe that's why so many people today feel disconnected from their own bodies without fully understanding why. What makes this even more fascinating is that traces of ancient human capability may still exist inside modern people right now. Scientists studying exercise physiology, fasting, cold exposure, and endurance training continue discovering how quickly the body can adapt when pushed beyond comfort again. That's partly why activities like hiking, martial arts, strength training, climbing, and even simple daily walking often make people feel strangely more alive, focused, and mentally clear. It's almost as if the human body still carries ancient survival instincts buried beneath modern routines, waiting to be reawakened. And perhaps that's the most uncomfortable realization of all. Ancient humans didn't survive because the world was kind or easy. They survived because their bodies adapted to extreme pressure over thousands of years. Modern humanity gained convenience, safety, and technology, but possibly lost part of the physical resilience that once defined the species. Once someone truly understands the difference between their world and ours, they begin seeing modern life differently. Not necessarily worse, just farther away from what the human body may have originally evolved to become.